like follow the money. No, follow where the money takes you. Notice what's going on in your life. And, you went to make money, but you end up accomplishing something much more significant. Somebody you're dealing with, they don't look so happy today, and they've got a serious problem, and you suggest something, you help them, or you just encourage them and put them in a better frame of mind. You could have saved a life just there.
Mind blown from this next episode.
What was it like sitting down with Rabbi Manis Friedman?
Rabbi Manis Friedman, if you don't know him, he's YouTube's most popular rabbi. He has over 100. Where do you go after you die?
Ooh,
I mean,
wow, we're getting like spiritual over here.
It was phenomenal. It's crazy how spiritual money is, but I was blown away. Without exaggeration, I could see this as being one of our most viewed videos, and I'm excited to see what the audience thinks.
Can't wait to listen.
Take a look. Welcome, Rabbi Manis Friedman. This is a real treat for us. It's a little bit wild to see you in the flesh because I've consumed so many of your videos, and you're usually behind the screen. So the fact that you walked in here with the glowing white beard, it feels like almost out of real life. But welcome. It's good to have you. So if you type into Google, "the world revolves around," the first result that comes up is money. Yep, that's right there. The world revolves around money. I don't know if necessarily it's true, but what is it about money that seemingly makes the world go round?
Well, if you want to get to the heart of it, what is the need for money? Only the human being has this crazy lifestyle. The animal goes outside, looks around, and finds something to eat. No, but we have to go through schooling, training, apprenticeship, and finally we got to get a job and then make some money, and then you can sit down to a meal and not starve. Like, why is that? It seems cruel and unusual punishment. So we have to think a little bit beyond and past just the money, because it really is a mystery. Why is it set up this way? We have, you would think, more noble things to do. So our food should be available more easily so that we can be free to do noble things. And yet we have to spend most of our lives just preparing for the job that will make us the money, that will buy us the food, that will keep us from starving. I mean, that's it's crazy. So the reason money makes the world go round is because that's our survival. But the question is why? Why such a crazy system? And as long as we're talking about it, what is this craziness? We work 6 days a week so we can rest on one day? That's top heavy. It's like we should work one day so we can rest in 6.
There's these movements across the world now where
4-day
week. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it should be that way, ideally. So here's the precautionary warning. You can get a lot of comfort from money. Your life is easier, more comfortable, broader, have a bigger vision. But it is not meant to produce happiness. And that's where the big mistake is. Yes, money will give you comfort. It will not give you happiness because it won't give you satisfaction. Feels good to be able to make money. You come in with a big wad, you feel great. It's not happiness. So if you depend on the money for happiness, you're headed for a depression. And if not you, then your kids. You say, so what? So what? So we have money, so we're rich. It doesn't make for a happiness life. But the reason we have to do all this, and the reason we have such a complicated path to a sandwich, is because it's the only way that God can get us to interact with each other, to meet people we otherwise not meet, to get us to come out of our caves and feel mutually dependent on each other. In other words, it creates a more human existence. If you had your food outside, just climb a tree and eat, we wouldn't be human the way we're meant to be. So instead of thinking of how much money am I making, who are you meeting? Who are you dealing with? Where is this taking you? What are you exposed to? And what good can come from that? The people you're dealing with, your buyers, your sellers, your customers, your employer, is there something that you're supposed to learn or give or receive, or some kind of human interaction that makes the world a better place?
If Adam and Eve hadn't eaten the apple, would this idea of money had it existed? And if not, how else would we have interacted?
So if you read it superficially, it sounds like the curse.
Mm-hmm.
The curse for eating from the tree of knowledge was that by the sweat of your brow, you're going to make bread. That means go to work,
Mm-hmm.
in simple language. Get a job. So it sounds like a curse, and it can be a curse, but really it's a hidden blessing. It's like saying you can't just be yourself anymore. Now you have to interact with other people. You'll give, you'll take, you'll receive, you'll help each other in some way, but no more hermit kind of life in the Garden of Eden, just picking things off a tree.
There's a verse in Mishlei, Tzedakah Tatzal Mimaves, that charity will save the donor, or can save the donor's life. What is it about charity that is so powerful, so much so that a donor can be saved from potential harm or death?
With a little stretch of the imagination, giving charity means giving away your life. I mean, imagine you have only $1 left and you give it away. Well, what are you giving away? Your life, your survival. So you, in return, you deserve to receive life. So if you give life, you get life. If it's not always that dramatic, where it's your last dollar,
Mm-hmm.
but every dollar could be your last dollar. And what do you invest in making this dollar? Pretty much your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
You got to wake up, you got to go, you got to work, you got to train, you got to learn. It's your whole life. Although we should make a distinction. There's a difference between existing and living. Huge difference. Existence means you take up space. Literally, that's the scientific definition. How does this exist? It takes up space. What does it mean to take up space? Can't put another microphone in the same spot. So for human beings, to exist means I take up space, which means you can't sit in my seat. It's mine. I was here first. We can't share the same space. If you take it to an extreme, Cain and Abel, Cain and Hevel could not share the same space. They had the whole world, and they couldn't share it. They must have had huge egos. Everything was huge back then. So existence means to take up space, which means intolerant of anything invading your space. In addition to that, in order to exist, you have to have certain resources. You need food, you need drink, you need shelter, you need warmth, you need cooling, you need all sorts of things just to survive, just to exist. So if you have everything you need for your existence, what have you accomplished?
Nothing.
No one is invading your space,
Yeah.
and tomorrow you can do it all over again. You'll eat, you'll drink, So really, it's kind of depressing. And that's what we call existential angst. It hurts to exist. And that's why we're always asking, what is the purpose? Why am I here? Or what's your problem? You don't want to be here? I want to be here, but I can't figure out why. Like, what for? So that I can not let you into my house? Because it's my house? And then give me food, give me drink, give me this, give me that. It's embarrassing and a little depressing. If I take my existence more seriously, I worry about it, I stay up at night worrying about my space and I'm going to get seriously depressed.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's also life. Life means, what effect does your existence make on the world around you? Your being here, your existence, has an effect. That's what justifies your existing. So life means, what are you contributing? So the fundamental difference is, existence is demanding, needy. Life is giving, needed. Before we get to making a living, having money, getting rich, not getting rich, one thing has to be clear. We can't function as needy creatures. We have to see ourselves as needed creatures. Changes everything. That alone, like, the depression is gone.
Who needs us? Is it, and I've heard talks from you in the past, and I would like to get into that a little bit, but who needs us? Is it other humans that need us? Does God need us?
Yes.
How do you look at needed?
Yes.
Both.
Mm-hmm.
Some would say, or push back and say, God doesn't need us. God has everything.
Well, let's put it this way. God's plan needs us. The plan can't work without us. God wants this world to become a godly place. Well, the only way that can happen is if we do it. Because if he does it, then it's not this world. Then it's heaven. He wants earth to become godly, meaning by its own limited, fallible, clumsy way to somehow get to be godly. So yeah, it depends on us completely.
You touched on the idea of making a lot of money. Some people struggle to make ends meet. Let's talk about those two extremes. If there are those listening that have come into a lot of money, whether through inheritance or through their hard work or not hard work, they're sitting on a pile of cash. What advice would you give to people in that state?
Yeah, there are people who win the lottery and their life is ruined.
Mm-hmm.
It's a serious, common event. Being wealthy or being poor has only one significant consequence. You're going to meet different people. If you're rich, you meet a certain kind of people. If you're poor, you meet a different kind of people. So your wealth or your poverty takes you where you can do the most good in God's plan.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're poor, it's because you need to deal with people that live in that circle, in that universe. If you're rich, it's only because you need to be affecting people who are in that stratosphere. Right? So always look beyond the dollar. Like follow the money?
Mm-hmm.
No, follow where the money takes you. Notice what's going on in your life. And, you went to make money, but you end up accomplishing something much more significant. Somebody you're dealing with, they don't look so happy today, and you ask them what's the matter, and they've got a serious problem, and you suggest something, you help them, or you just encourage them and put them in a better frame of mind. You could have saved a life just there.
Does that mean to say that those who are poor and the people that meet that this is their lot in life, and for them to strive to get out of that is not something that they should be focusing on, meaning accept their lot. We talk about Ezu Asher Hasamech Bechalko, someone who's happy is someone who's content, or who is rich, someone who is content with their lot. Is that a life sentence almost? Is that saying basically, hey, don't strive for something more because real richness is you have it. It's there already. Or no, someone can actually do their efforts and their hishtadlis to strive for something higher.
You always strive for higher. Otherwise, you'll never be rich. So that statement from the sages, who is rich? The one who is content with his lot? Never going to happen. If you're content, you don't get rich. You sit home. Among the rich people, who is handling it and who is not handling it? In other words, not who is rich, who knows how to be rich. So it's not bait and switch. You want to know who's rich? Somebody who doesn't care if he's rich. No, don't do that to me. You should have said, who's happy? A person who doesn't care. Okay. But don't tell me he's rich and then tell me he's happy with being poor.
Mm-hmm.
That's not honest. So we're talking about a person who is rich, seriously rich. But there are those whose wealth make their life more livable, and there are those whose wealth make their life miserable. Right? So what it's saying is, who is wealthy? In other words, who is a healthy, wealthy person? Who's handling their wealth well? The one who is content with their life, not with their money. If you're content with your money, you're not going to make any more. That is not the nature of wealthy people. So a person gets rich, they say all of a sudden you win the lottery or you inherit a lot of money, and all of a sudden your wife is not good enough for you, and your children are annoying, and your car is too old-fashioned, and your house is too small, and even your congregation and your community is not for you. Your whole life has to be exchanged. Why? Because you have money? That money is killing you. It's destroying you. So people who inherit a lot of money, they need a little counseling, some cautionary notes, because it doesn't, the suddenness of it, they don't have time to digest it and to work it out, and they don't grow into it, which is also, they didn't work for it. That is deadly. Undeserved, unearned. It's a gift, but it can be a poison. Which is why an honest day's work is what brings happiness, not the money that comes from it. So if you make more money than you feel you deserve, you're going to be thrilled, but you're going to be miserable. It doesn't give the contentment that life is supposed to give. So the great people in the past, the people we always looked up to as role models and so on, any money that came to them undeserved, they gave it away immediately. This is not really mine because I didn't earn it. So if they find money, give it away. They want to live off what they earned and deserved.
We had a guest here, David Bashevkin, who spoke about Gevir culture, where a lot of people in Orthodox Jewish circles, and it's not even just in Orthodox Jewry, look up to the wealthy and their opinions matter when it comes to the community.
When you're rich, they think you really know.
Right. Is that it's a problem in the sense that we respect them for their wealth, but then we also suddenly value their opinion. If they were to lose a lot of their wealth, I don't know if we would value their opinion. How do we tackle that Gevir culture?
I think if we look more closely, People are not jealous of their money. They're jealous of their confidence, because rich people are confident, come across, and they're jealous of their happiness. If I could be as happy without the money, I would be perfectly okay with that. If I could have the confidence of a rich person without being rich, I wouldn't mind. So it's not the money that we're jealous of and that we're admiring. You admire somebody who speaks with confidence, even if they shouldn't, because they don't know what they're talking about. But the same thing happens when you publish a book. If you're an author, then you are an expert on every subject that has nothing to do with your book. But, he wrote a book. Well, he knows everything, which is... So again, it's not the book, it's not the money, it's the confidence. We can all use a little more confidence.
Well said. Let's go to the opposite side. We were talking about an abundance of wealth. For those not making ends meet and watching this video, it's a real struggle, right? They're receiving letters in the mail from credit card companies. They have debt. What do you tell someone like that who knocks on your door, not looking for a check, but for advice?
That is dangerous. The reason people are not making a living, can be so many different things. And if you focus on the wrong thing, you're just going to make the person more miserable. Yeah. Why can't you get a job? Let's not go there, because who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Woody Allen, in the beginning of his career, had a record, an album of comedy. And he has this routine about how he was in a car accident and he had a near-death experience. He was dying. And his life flashed before his eyes. And he saw his father, Zeke, coming in from the fields with the cows. And his sister, Annabelle, was bringing the eggs in from the chicken coop. And wait, I'm a Jewish boy from Brooklyn. The wrong life is flashing before my eyes, and I got 2 minutes to live. The wrong life cannot flash before your eyes. It does not happen. So the poor man who looks at the rich man and says, isn't that supposed to be my life? Well, what am I doing here? I'm supposed to be... No. Your life is never wrong for you. Because if it's your life, well, first of all, it's the only one you have, so don't knock it. But if it's your life, live it. It's yours. It's not like my life took a wrong turn and all of a sudden I'm not where I'm supposed to be. You're exactly where you're supposed to be. So it's not like the rich man took your life away, stepped into your shoes and pushed you out. No. He's got his life, you got yours. Again, look past the dollars. What does your life consist of? Which people do you interact with? What issues do you handle? They're different. This is where you belong. If you were rich, God wouldn't need you. So it's not going to happen that way. But you can go from one to the other. Rich people become poor, unfortunately, and poor people become rich. That means you fulfilled your function and purpose in this field. Now you're being moved, or you change careers, you change professions, you meet different people. So when God decides to move you, he'll move you. But never jealous of someone else's life. Why? If you enjoyed this conversation or this topic, and you're looking for more information, or you want to hear it again from another angle, there's a way to do that. And that is in this book. It's all there. Order it from Amazon. You can read it, reread it, and share it. These ideas, these messages, this approach to life, this approach to Torah, to meaning, and to morals is vital for the world today. And we need to get this message out to the entire world. It is universal, it's essential, It's indispensable. To support this effort, if you want to be a partner in this crime, check out the link and make a donation. It really helps a lot. And thank you in advance.